Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Max Ventures and Industries Q2 FY22 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Vachani, MD and CEO, Max Ventures and Industries Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the Max Ventures and Industries Q2 FY22 earnings conference call. I hope you and everybody is safe and in good health. Along with me today, we have our CFO, Mr. Nitin Kansal, Mr. Rishi Raj, who is our Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Rohit Rajput, who is CEO of Max Asset Services. We also have SGA, our investor relation advisors, on the call. The presentation and press release has been issued to the stock exchanges and uploaded on our company's website. I hope you've had the opportunity to go through this. As you all must be aware that we have decided to exit our packaging business to focus purely and entirely on real estate to achieve our growth aspirations. And thus this call would be more of a strategy call to take you through our perspective on this. Let me first give you the highlights of the transaction before the strategic rationale behind this deal. Max Ventures, the holding company, has entered into definitive agreement to divest its 51% stake in Max Specialty Films to our strategic partner Topan Printing for an all-cash deal of between 600 to 650 crores. Topan, who already owns 49% interest in Max Specialty Films, would now become the 100% owner of Max Specialty Films Limited. Topan would also be taking over the debt of MSFL as part of the deal, and Max Ventures would receive 600 to 650 crores. The exact amount is to be known at the closure of the transaction depending on the working capital adjustments. We anticipate this transaction to close within 90 days. Topan had become a strategic partner by acquiring a 49% stake in MSFL for about 200 crores in 2017. At 600 to 650 crores now for our 51% stake, that's a value creation of more than 3x during this period for us from MSFL. Now let me get into some of the strategic rationale behind divesting the packaging business. In fact, many investors and friends have been discussing that it was very difficult to understand different businesses in Max Ventures. Max Ventures was formed in 2016 as a result of the demerger of Max India with the legacy business of Max Specialty Films. In the same year, we decided to venture into the real estate business. We've always stated that the future growth driver for the business would be the real estate vertical and maximum capital allocation would go towards this. The rationale behind this decision are the following. First, to create a focused business and simplify the company structure. In these times of specialization, we believe putting our entire focus on the real estate business, which has tremendous growth and scaling opportunities, is the way forward. Moreover, with strong performance in the packaging business and the packaging industry as a whole during the last 1 year, we believe that this was the right time for us to divest this business and get a fair value for MSFL. This will also simplify the company structure from 2 different businesses to a single real estate focused business. We intend to rechristen Max Ventures as Max Estates, and we will post the divestment. We will also explore the restructuring options to merge the wholly owned real estate subsidiary Max Estates to rechristen Max Ventures as Max Estates. The board of directors have already authorized the investment and finance committee to explore the restructuring options. The change of name will resonate better with the business vision, strategy, and focus of the company. This will also enable us to emerge as a pure play real estate entity. The company's entire focus and resources will be shifted to the real estate business. Max Ventures will emerge as a pure-play real estate business entity with clear focus on commercial and premium residential real estate focused on the Delhi and NCR region. This will also generate growth capital for the real estate business and divesting the packaging business will give us an additional capital of between 660 or 650 crores to deploy in the real estate business. The company, as a result, will thus be able to create a war chest of more than 1,000 crores funded from sale proceeds, internal accruals, and potential commitment from financial investors. We will look to expand the real estate business through strategic and financial partners, as we have done in the past with New York Life for the Max Square project. Further, we are in advanced discussions with nearly half a dozen landowners to acquire and develop prime land parcels in the National Capital Region. We believe becoming a pure-play real estate company will also attract focused international and domestic funds and investors to participate in our growth journey. We at Max Estates have already demonstrated our execution and leasing capabilities in commercial real estate with both Max Towers and Max House. With both these developments being near almost 100% leased out, another significant growth driver going ahead would be now our residential business. We are also in final stages of evaluating land parcels for our new commercial as well as residential projects, and we expect to announce this in FY22. We are cautious and prudent in acquiring the land parcels to ensure that we do not allocate capital inefficiently. While this approach is sometimes time-consuming, a little patience helps us to build the business in a sustainable and steady manner. This is a new chapter for the company and a defining moment in the history of Max Ventures. We are very excited now more than ever to scale this business. As I have said before, we believe the opportunity in NCR is immense, with hardly any real estate players, a growing population, and now with Max Estates having the track record of development, having showcased a premium to the micro market that we have done, the brand that we have that resonates with trust and credibility, and now a significant war chest to ensure that we are conservatively capitalized and able to scale the business with very conservative levels of debt. We believe are all the pieces that are required to put this puzzle together and for us to be able to scale the real estate business. I will now hand over to my colleague Rishi for the real estate business updates. Thank you. Rishi, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Let me now give you the real estate business updates. Q2 FY22 witnessed strong leasing momentum in the commercial real estate business post the second wave of COVID-19 on the back of return to office and companies signing up new leases as they expand the business. The most significant and rapid change observed during Q2 is that most of the companies have restarted the office, encouraging employees to return, along with partial flexibility to work from home. We have witnessed the same at Max Towers as well as Max House, with increasing footfalls on month-on-month basis of tenants and rising number of clients visits looking for office space, either for relocation to better quality space or expansion at the back of the growth. It is now widely accepted that only work from home option is not a reliable option when considering the overall productivity of the company. In our interactions with top corporate occupiers, it is evidently clear that while flexibility to employees is important, a predominant work from home model is not sustainable due to multiple reasons, including growth, culture, and innovation, as well as other challenges like serious cybersecurity threat and overall mental and holistic well-being of employees. We believe a balanced hybrid workplace ecosystem with mix between work from home office and work from home, which will vary depending on sector and functions, will be the future going ahead. However, the role and the purpose of conventional office will evolve, and developers who are agile enough to adapt to the new normal will have an advantage. Now coming to Q2 updates, total leased area at Max Towers now stands at 4.91 lakh square feet. Leased area attributable to Max Estates stands at 2.89 lakh square feet. 93% of Max Towers as a whole is now leased, and the leased area owned by Max Estates is 96% leased. Lease rentals from Max Towers stood at rupees 73 million in Q2 of FY22 versus rupees 42 million in Q2 FY21. At Max House, our second development, 60% of area is now leased out with lease agreements registered. Really delighted to share that when we came to you in our last earnings call, this number was at 18%. On the remaining area, LOIs have already been executed and is in final stages of documentation. Hence, Max House is also fully leased out. The weighted average rental rates continues to be at significant premium to respective micro markets for both the office assets. Coming to phase 2 of Max House, the project has commenced construction and expected to be delivered by Q3 FY23 and is well on track. We are confident of strong leasing interest in the second phase of Max House as well, building on the success of the first phase. Coming to Max Square, our third project, it continues to be on track both in terms of cost and time and is expected to be completed as per schedule by Q4 of FY23. I'm really delighted to share it is designed to host a suite of amenities and spaces including Central Forest Courtyard, retail, food court, wellness center, early learning center, fitness center, amongst many other amenities to truly enhance the work well experience, our promise to tenants, as well as really enable the future of workspace model. Now, let me give you an outlook. With Max Towers and Max House Okhla being leased out at a premium to the micro market, we are confident of future prospects of commercial real estate in post-pandemic world. We have made progress with growth opportunities scan and are in advanced stages of commercial negotiation and due diligence with nearly half a dozen of landowners to acquire and develop prime land parcel in Delhi NCR in both commercial and residential space. We are on track with our target to close at least 1 million square feet of residential and commercial development opportunity each in FY22. Post-divestment of packaging film business and other sources, as Sahil mentioned, the growth capital of more than 1,000 crore will enable expansion of the residential and commercial real estate footprint in Delhi NCR as per our stated aspiration for Max Estates to emerge as a leading real estate developer in Delhi NCR region. We are also witnessing a demand shift from traditional strata sold offices to well-managed grade A office to ensure employee well-being and enable community collaboration and innovation. In the long term, grade A office developers like Max Estates are sure to gain on account of this shifting preference and a clear trend of flight to quality as evidenced by strong traction of towers and Max House, which is almost fully leased. Residential real estate has witnessed strong green shoots over last few quarters after a long lull period with rising preference for organized developers who has the ability to deliver and execute projects on time as promised with modern amenities and with strong balance sheet. We are more confident than ever now that the right time is for us to enter into the residential segment given the strong brand equity Max enjoys, especially in Delhi NCR region, complemented by a strong balance sheet and access to large institutional capital. We are extremely excited with the way economy as well as real estate is recovering and thus are confident to make Max Estates one of the leading multi-asset class real estate developers in Delhi NCR in times to come. Now, let me hand over to Rohit Rajput to give us an update on Max Asset Services.
Thank you, Rishi. Let me give brief highlights about Max Asset Services. As Rishi mentioned, that the future of work will be a mix of predominantly work from office with some work from home. There is also a section of companies, majorly comprising of the new age companies, who are even opting for the co-working spaces and may not necessarily prefer to have a long-term lease commitment. We had recently launched our managed office offerings by the name of Workwell Suites, especially for such clients in Max House Okhla Phase 1. It saves a huge upfront cost for the companies and also saving them from the hassle of maintaining the office space. In many ways, it also complements our conventional office leasing, as many new age companies look for incubation space before they go for long-term lease commitments, and both coexisting in the same office building is synergistic. We have received a very good response to the same. We have created a 219 seats managed office space, of which 81 seats are already signed up and occupied. We continue to negotiate with many companies and are confident to sign the remaining seats very soon. Our facility management business is also expected to gain traction now as the occupancies rise at Max Towers as well as Max House. Revenue for Max Assets stood at rupees 37 million in Q2 FY22. As companies resume office on a regular basis, the companies will start availing the facility services again, leading to a revenue uptick in mass. Now let me hand over to Nitin Kansal.
Thank you, Rohit. Good morning, everyone. Let me give you the financial highlights for Q2 FY22, which includes our real estate business as well as the packaging business. The consolidated revenues increased by 30% year-on-year to rupees 376 crores in Q2 FY22. Consolidated EBITDA increased by 14% year-on-year to rupees 59.8 crores in Q2 FY22. The consolidated profit before exceptional items and tax increased by 30% year-on-year to rupees 39.8 crores in Q2 FY22. The consolidated PAT in Q2 FY22 stood at rupees 25.6 crore, although it is not comparable to last year's Q2, as it had an exceptional loss of rupees 27 crores on valuation write-down of our investment in Azure Hospitality. Let me now give you additional highlights of the real estate business. Our real estate business, that is Max Estates Limited, revenue stood at rupees 10 crores in Q2 FY22 as compared to 11 crores in Q2 FY21. However, the lease rental income increased by 88% year-on-year to rupees 7.9 crores in Q2 FY22 as compared to rupees 4.2 crores in Q2 FY21, primarily on account of improved occupancy at Max Towers and also Max House Phase 1. The revenues for the Max Asset Services, our facility business arm, stood at rupees 3.7 crores in Q2 FY22 as compared to rupees 4.5 crores in Q2 FY21. The numbers of Max Specialty Films will be part of Max Ventures until the transaction is consummated, but the relevant numbers going ahead would only be of the real estate business. Speaking about our liquidity position, the gross debt in a real estate business, Max Estate, stood at rupees 196 crores as of September 21. The cash and liquid investments stood at rupees 61 crores, hence the net debt stood at rupees 135 crores. The debt in the MSFL, the specialty film business, would be taken over by Topan. With the expected divestment inflows between 600 to 650 crores, our balance sheet will strengthen even more, which will be deployed in the real estate business going forward. I will hand over back to Stephen to open the floor for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Jainam Shah from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning, sir. So my first question relates to this transaction of this Max Specialty Films. So basically, sir, it has been said that around 1350 crore is the overall enterprise value. And if we see the debt amount, then it is net debt is around 260 crores. So if we subtract that and then we get our share of 51%, then it is coming around 560 crore. Whereas our equity value is said to be around 600 to 650 crore. So wanted to know how exactly we arrived at 600 to 650 crore, and whereas one statement said that that will be taken over by our strategic partners. So wanted to know about that.
Thanks, Janam. Just to answer that, the number from 560 to 600 to 650 is derived basis the working capital adjustments which will be carried out at the closing date. We anticipate this number to range to land between 600 to 650 crores. And in terms of debt, the debt would be taken over entirely by the incoming partner to Pan Printing.
Okay, got it. So as in at the end we'll be receiving the cash between the 600 to 650 crore rupees.
Yes, we expect to receive a cash to that extent.
Okay. Now coming to sir our residential portfolio. So basically sir, what kind of segment we are targeting, like mid-premium segment, premium segment, or for that matter affordable segment? Any specific comment on that? And which model will be targeting, like acquiring the land and then developing, or entering into a JDA for the same?
Yeah, hi, this is Rishi. I'll take that question. First part of your question in terms of target segment, as we stated, we are looking at opportunities in Delhi NCR, Gurgaon, Noida, and Delhi. Coming to target segment, one would classify it as segment to premium segment. And one way to understand that segment in terms of price brackets, it would be anywhere upwards of 8,000 rupees per square feet to 10 to 12 to 15,000. So that's the segment we are targeting. We are not targeting affordable segment. In terms of business model, the current discussions, we are open to all the models, outright, joint venture, as well as joint development. The pipeline that we have, where the discussions are going on, we have both discussions going on for outright as well as joint development with the landowners. And this in terms of the kind of residential product. Again, we have both in the portfolio, the group housing as well as mixed use, where you can do group housing, floors, and villas.
Okay, so just a follow-up question. So as Max Life Insurance was a partner at one of the projects, so will that be the same case for the residential, or will we having 100% portion for the residential business?
Yes, we are open to evaluate potential strategic partner to residential business as well.
Okay. And so just last one from my side. So regarding that one project of that, we are having around 2.8 million square feet of land, which has been under the NCLT. So any update on the same project?
Yes. On Delhi one, I'm delighted to share a few updates. Number one, when this plan was submitted to NCLT, there were 3-4 major objections that came to the plan. The good news is most of them have got cleared or withdrawn, except one. Number two, so far it has been progressing slow because of pandemic and virtual hearing and so on and so forth. Now we have got the date for physical hearing to start and back-to-back hearing to start from mid of December, 14th December. So we are hopeful and we expect now this to progress relatively fast than earlier.
Okay, that's great to hear. So just one last thing. So as we have said that around 1 million square feet for the commercial and 1 million square feet for the residential, we are targeting for the FY22. So going forward, how we are targeting for the residential? Like we'll be targeting some million square feet during FY22 and 23, and then developing it, and then again like it's a cycle. Like any specific number you will targeting every year for the development, and like anything like any plan like that?
Yeah. So look, from a strategy and direction perspective, our aspiration is to, on an average, add 1 million square feet, which is a number which we have shared just to give a sense of direction and scale. But as you know, in real estate business, things can be little bit lumpier. It really will vary from project to project. A few projects which we have in pipeline today varies from close to 1 million to upwards of 2 million. And if in those cases, it will be developed over 2 or 3 phases.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Kaul from FE Securities. Please go ahead.
Good morning. I just wanted to find out that they mentioned that Max Ventures will also do some collaboration kind of thing with Max India. Could you please give me some sense on that?
Yeah. So, Sanjay, this is Rishi. Good to hear from you. What we have mentioned is in our residential venture, some of the opportunities that we are exploring could be intergenerational opportunities where we may do partnership with Antara Senior Living, who could play development manager role for a certain portion of that particular project. So that is also in discussion, and that's what we had mentioned.
Any chances of any thought process of merging, say, Max India with Max Ventures?
I'll answer that. This is Sahil. Yeah, I'll answer that. This is Sahil. No, we do not have any intention of merging the two entities. Max India will become a pure play senior care operator across their different businesses and focus more on the care aspect for seniors. Max Estates and Max Ventures is envisioned to become a pure play real estate business. So they are two very, very different businesses, and partly the reason for us to sell the packaging business is that we didn't want to have the confusion from, of different businesses and create a mini conglomerate, and thus we will continue to keep both of these separate.
Okay. The market cap of Max Ventures is about approximately, say, 2,000 crores right now, and you'll get about 130 crores, and you'll get some, say, 30 crores net from sale of the thing. So the enterprise value will come to about 1,500 crores. Am I right?
Yes, Sanjay. Yeah.
It will. And Max is one of the cheapest companies in the segment going forward.
Okay. Yes, and the assets that we have, which is Max Towers, Max House, Max Square, and Max Towers and Max House are completely leased out. So absolutely, we agree with your analysis.
Can you give a sense of the rentals that we'll get, say, March 23, 24, 25 in Max Ventures from the commercial side that we're already there? Well, these 2 towers and plus the Max Square that will come up. What kind of rentals will we land up with?
Sanjay, for us to give forward-looking statements, we would not be doing that, but we have a stated objective that we would be having a lease rentals of close to 35 crores coming from Max Towers and rentals of close to 16 crores coming from phase 1 of Max House. And we expect the phase 2 of Max House also to be commissioned by FY23, and Max Square, which is 7 lakh square feet, also to get commissioned by then. So we expect all the rentals to start flowing in by FY23, middle of FY24.
Okay. Right. Thank you. I'll come back with something if needed. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on the transaction. It's great to see that structure finally getting simplified. As you were talking about the lease amounts that you will get, what will be the total lease receipts you will have in, let's say, fiscal year 24 after all the 4 properties are fully leased out?
So, Rajesh, I think for us, once the number to give, difficult to give an exact number as of now, we expect the range to be between 120 to 150 crores once all the properties are leased out. What we have in pipeline today and whatever we commission as projects going forward will be on top of that.
Okay. And in addition to that, you have sort of pipeline which you talked about of potentially 6 LOIs out there. So is that mostly residential, or will there be a commercial in there as well? And if you can just give more color on that, how many commercial properties versus how many residential?
Yeah. So Rajesh, this is Rishi. Yes, we have very strong pipeline both for commercial and residential. I'm really happy to share, compared to when we came to this call last quarter versus today, in both commercial and residential, we have a pipeline of 6 to 8 million square feet, number one, each. Number two, in both commercial and residential, let me take it one by one. In commercial, we have got 2 projects which are in the due diligence stage, so it's past term sheet. One in term sheet and several in advanced commercial negotiation. Similarly, in residential, we have couple in advanced negotiation and closure on the commercial front, and one at a term sheet MOU stage. So with that kind of a pipeline and where they are in the stage of the deal cycle, we feel very confident with our stated aspiration to close one each this fiscal.
I see. Okay. So in terms of the capital required to, let's say, execute the 6 to 8 million in each segment, what is the total capital we are looking at?
So just to correct, we will not execute 6 to 8 million this fiscal. That's the pipeline. The target is to close at least 1 million each in residential and commercial. And on the capital to fund it, I'll request Nitin to address.
So Rajesh, the way we look at it, with this war chest of 1,000 crores, we can initiate a war chest of equity value of more than 1,000 crores. We would be able to leverage it further and deploy this capital over the period of next 3 to 4 years. As I mentioned in the first answer to your question, we are expecting rentals of close to 120 to 150 crores, which is expected to come in FY 23-24. With the lease rental discounting, joint venture partnership, and this war chest, we expect this capital to sustain us for the next span of 3 to 5 years comfortably, and to achieve a stated objective of doing 1 million square feet of residential and commercial every year.
I see. And for commercial, is our goal going to be always own the property and keep it with us, or sell it at some point also? What's the thinking on that?
Yeah, let me address that into 2 parts. Our stated strategy and clear strategy is to build to lease. We do not want to build and sell and do a fragmented ownership. The history, especially now post-COVID, those properties are not going to do well. So it will be built to lease so that we can curate the experience for customers around work well philosophy, which is what would differentiate us among rest in Delhi NCR. Now, second part, in terms of once it is built to lease and gets stabilized, and once we build critical mass today, we can explore multiple exit options.
Rishi, just to supplement what Rishi just mentioned, we have been able to, not only the market intelligence tells us that the status sold properties trade at a discount, but our experience as Max Towers tells us that because we have been able to do console offerings to our potential lessees, we have been able to get a premium of 25 to 30%, and one of the major reasons is that these buildings are owned by us. So we believe this is here to stay, and we would like to maintain the ownership with them until the time we achieve a critical mass, and then we can do a listing of them, as Rishi mentioned.
Understood. And Nitin, just one last question. What is the after-tax proceeds we expect? I know we will get, you said that block equity of 600 or so, 600, 650. But after tax payment, what will be the net proceeds?
So this would be a long-term capital gain transaction for us, which will entail a tax in the range of somewhere between 75 to 100 crores for us.
Okay. All right. And you said it will be done in 3 months. So by the end of this financial year, we can assume that all the money will be...
We expect the transaction to be consummated by the Q4 of the current financial.
Right. So by end of financial year, we should have the cash in the bank.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ronak Jain from Jain Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Couple of questions from my end. Firstly, how do you plan to deploy the funds received from divestment of packaging business?
No. So as Nitin earlier stated, the sale proceed coupled with other sources gives us a firepower of 1,000 crore plus. The deployment of all of this will happen in the real estate business to grow and scale real estate business, both residential and commercial. And this will be good enough for us to address and achieve our stated aspiration of adding 1 million square feet every year in both the segment on an average. In terms of allocation between commercial and residential, commercial being built to lease, residential being sales, the capital intensity will vary, and also it will depend on whether it's an outright purchase or a joint development model. So we will very judiciously allocate this capital towards commercial and residential as adequately it would require depending on which segment and which model.
Okay. Secondly, do we have any plan to exit our investment in Azure Hospitality in near term?
So your question is?
Hi, Rohit here. So as we mentioned before, we will continue to evaluate opportunities at the right time to exit our investment in Azure Hospitality.
Okay.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of Amit Shah from Ace Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, I have only one question. Sir, many real estate companies are closing land transactions and launching projects. Sir, what are the challenges faced by Max Estate in closing the same?
Hi, this is Rishi again. As I said, if you look at our investor presentation as well, we have a very strong pipeline now, 6 to 8 million square feet in both residential and commercial. I think one would need to go through the full deal cycle from sourcing to commercial negotiation to diligence. So from that standpoint, what we don't want to do is take a wrong decision and rush till the time we are very satisfied with the diligence, including a clear title and so on and so forth. Having said that, as I said, with what we have in pipeline and also at what stages they are, and let me repeat, in commercial, we are in advanced stages of diligence on 2, term sheet for 1, and couple of more where commercial negotiation is getting close. So we have a very decent advanced stage pipeline. And similarly for residential, 1 is in term sheet stage and 1 is in advanced commercial negotiation and several others to follow. So we don't see any challenge in taking one of these in both the segment to closure in coming months and quarters.
Oh, thank you, sir. That's all, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Hitesh Sharma from White Sky. Please go ahead.
I was wanted to know, like, with the money coming back from the sale of film units, some special dividend should have been given to the shareholders for bearing for so many years.
Thank you for the question. I'll take that. This is Sahil. We believe that there is a significant growth opportunity in the real estate space, which is a capital-intensive business, and thus the capital is going to be required for the growth of the real estate business. We believe that the value creation that can happen in us scaling the real estate business is hugely exponential, given the opportunity available to us in NCR, and thus for our shareholders, we believe that is in the best interest for us to grow the real estate business and accrue value there.
Thank you. Well, some special dividend we were expected, because in the last meeting as well we were wanted to know when you are going to spin it off.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Kaul from FE Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, back again. I wanted to talk about this New York Life Insurance investment in the company, in the holding company, and in the project also. So what I believe is that they are partners in our Max Square project. Would they be willing to partner in the residential side only, or would they only stick to commercial?
Yes. Thank you for that, Sanjay. Great question. I'll take that. This is Sahil. Just to give you a little bit of a background and to everybody, New York Life is one of the oldest insurance companies in America with the current investable corpus of more than $600 billion. We are their only partners in India for real estate investment. They own 23.5% of Max Ventures as a shareholder, and in addition, through their portfolio of this assets under management, have directly invested in SPV. They are confident of, they have committed and are confident of growing their India book with us, and thus we believe that opportunities could be both in the residential as well as commercial space. So to your question, yes, they will be open to residential as well in times to come.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 at this time. The next question is from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thanks again. So for the Azure hospitality business, what is our total investment in that? And if you can just give some color around our percentage ownership and what would be the estimated value today of that investment?
Hi, this is Rohit here. So our current investment in Azure is a little shy of 50 crores. Sorry, a little shy of 50 crores and about 15% shareholding. I'm also happy to report that post the impact on hospitality of COVID and the restrictions on dining, the revenue of the business has staged a good recovery, and I think it's a good time for us to look at how this investment can be exited at some point in the future at the right valuation, at the right numbers.
Yeah, if I can just step in over here, Rohit. So Rajesh, we had made an initial investment of close to 72 crores in Azure Hospitality, of which we took an impairment of 27 crores in the second quarter of FY21. That was the peak of COVID uncertainty. So the carrying value in the books of accounts is close to 45 crores. But with this pandemic, gradually the pandemic phase recessing out, the business has already exceeded the pre-COVID revenues, and we are very confident that we would be not only able to recover the investment, we would also be able to recover the impairment which we had done in the last year. And we are very bullish about the entire F&B industry, and hopefully we would this industry, our investments will be certainly profitable for us.
Right. No, I agree. The rebound in the restaurant business has been phenomenal. So that's why I was trying to understand. So our total cash investment is around 72 crores for 15% stake. Is that right?
Yes. 72 crores. The carrying value in the books is close to 45 crores. 27 crores has already been impaired in the books.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying the money that we have invested is 72 crores.
Yes.
Okay. And this is what kind of restaurant chain? I believe, if I remember correctly, it's Mama Goto and some other chains like that, right?
Yes, they operate under two brand names. One is Dhaba, which is a casual dining Indian style food, and the other is Mama Goto, which is Pan-Asian, again casual dining. They've also increased their share of home delivery revenue. So now it's a combination of a home delivery business, Mama Goto and Dhaba being the prominent brands, and two smaller sub-brands by the name Sly Granny and Foxtrot.
Yeah, and in addition, what they've done is this taking the advantage of this pandemic. They have very aggressively ventured in the cloud kitchen and they're expanding on the delivery business also.
Right. So can you share its, let's say, monthly revenue in September or October for this business?
Yeah, so in October, the business unaudited revenues went up to 11.66 crores. And this is about 114% of the pre-COVID Feb-March 2020 revenues.
Right. And this is for all the four brands you mentioned, right? This is total.
This is consolidated revenues for all the operational outlets with restricted seating guidelines that are operable right now in F&B.
Yeah, and further to add, in certain places, certain outlets have not been able to they have not been able to open their entire outlets. So we expect few other outlets to open by the end of this year.
Right. I think it's a very good investment. So hopefully it will rebound very well in the coming quarters, and hopefully we'll get a good value down the road. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jay Kishan Parmar from P3 Green. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks. Hello to team, management team for Max Venture. I have three questions. First, would like to confirm that Azure revenue just shared that 11.66 crore is it for 1 month or Q2? That's one. And second question to Rohit Rajput. As you know, we have good detail of real estate and commercial business, and guidance also pretty clear. So we want to just understand a bit more about MAS, like qualitative factors like per seat, how much you charge, and what are the growth prospects for that. That's second. And third, as an investor, you must be knowing, want to share a concern that initially Max Venture started as a four vertical: education, investment, film, and MAS. So gradually everything evolved. Like you removed education part, that's good. In real estate also you defocused any investment which is not related to investment, and finally you spin off the Max Film. Everything going as per plan. But again, full Q&A is around that only. Now we left with real estate. In that business, we are not, seeing growth considering Max brand. See, if there is another normal company or the company which do not have 50, 60 years of history, then it's okay. But Max as a group has, long standing experience, trust and everything. So in that aspect, I think you're not meeting investor estimate. Yeah, these are the 3 points.
Thank you. Rohit here. Let me address the first two parts of your question.
Yeah, okay.
The number 11.6 crores were unaudited numbers for the month of October 21 for Azure consolidated. So not quarter numbers.
Okay.
Second part of your question is for Max Asset Services. What's the charge that we're getting per seat? At our current location in Okhla, we're averaging about 17,000 rupees per seat. This charge is, for those familiar with the micro market, is at a significant premium, and our leasing velocity for that is also going quite well, and we have very positive interest and expect to fill this up in the months to come very rapidly.
So just to supplement what Rohit said, Kishanji, in this case, what happens is if we are leasing out the space and we do through the WorkWell suites, the realization per square feet to us is more than 2.5x. So when we do a business through WorkWell, the lease rental realization is at least 2.5x going forward.
Okay. So if I ask you how much square feet required for 219 seats?
Sorry, could you come again?
How many seats? Close to 14,000 square feet is required for 219 seats.
Okay, done.
Now, the other part of your question around growth, as we mentioned, we will look at growth through two pillars. One is that this WorkWell suite or this flexible office offering is proving to be a very valuable amenity for all our commercial real estate going forward. So, based on that experience and the customer demand, include this product in all our upcoming commercial developments. Obviously, the scale, the pricing will be dependent on project to project and market to market. The second part of it is that we are now evaluating locations in non-Max assets.
Okay.
For WorkWell suites, so that we can service a network of clients across NCR. In addition, a positive spillover of developing WorkWell suites as a product has been that customers have been asking us to develop, build, as well as manage their spaces, even if it's on a conventional lease. So those revenues again are set to increase for prospective tenants in not only our current buildings but also future projects.
Okay. And any pipeline for this WorkWell apart from Max real estate?
Again, we are evaluating locations which are non-Max in Gurgaon and Delhi, and we are hoping to close new locations soon.
Okay.
If I can just, this is Rishi, if I can just build on what Rohit said and the narrative that we had provided around synergy, let me illustrate that with the help of one very strong example for this to, how both the businesses are very synergistic. So in Max, we have signed with Samsung Electronics, who is relocating from Gurgaon to Okhla. Now, one of the reasons we were able to crack this deal with Samsung was not, of course, because of the product and the conventional office space, but they wanted end-to-end solution and a hassle-free solution. And where we ended up was not just the leasing of office space, but also the entire design, the build, the fit out of their premise is being done by Max Asset Services. And we are seeing, especially post-COVID, we are seeing many those opportunities getting translated both in Max Towers and Max House.
Okay. Yes.
Now, as to the third part of your question, which is around
so just want to clarify, it's not question, it was just want to share my view, that's it. So if you want to give any comment on that, that would be great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have already responded on the growth aspect, and then we are very confident to deliver on that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Saju Gupta from SK Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon to the management and congratulations for concluding the deal. My question is that just now you talked about 3 Cs, that it is going to get fast-tracked from the month of December. So I presume that you should be able to close this deal by next year. And so my question around this is that what is the area of land which will come to the company once it gets concluded? And second question to mine, that you are having an aspiration of 1 million square feet for commercial and this thing. Would that include this part if it gets concluded by next year, or that would be separate?
Coming on the growth aspect and the size of the opportunity that we are evaluating. Again, let me just recap what I said earlier. On commercial and on residential, in both, we are evaluating across different opportunities 6 to 8 million square feet in advanced stages in the pipeline. Number two, if you look at commercial, the opportunity is both in outright and joint development. When it comes to the size of the opportunity, in terms of the leasable area, it is in the range of 1 to 1.5 million square feet. So that's the kind of opportunity we are evaluating, primarily when it comes to geography in Gurgaon. That's where our next target of expansion is. When it comes to residential, as I said, again, all the models, 6 to 8 million square feet in the pipeline. One in a closure of commercial negotiation is done. The term sheet is getting closed. One in final stages of commercial closure. These opportunities range from 1 million to upwards of 2 million square feet. The one which is upwards of 2 million square feet will be a joint development opportunity which will be developed over a few phases. In addition to all of this, I just want to remind all of us, we also have Delhi one, which is ranging from 2.5 to 3 million square feet, which is a mixed-use development. And I updated earlier in the call that most of the objections that were there in the plan is either sorted out or withdrawn, except one. And with physical hearing starting from 14 December, we hope to get that expedited as well, and that gives us a mixed-use development opportunity cutting across commercial, residential, and retail. So I think it's just a matter of time and a bit of patience before this will all start falling in place, and you will see visible growth trajectory for Max Estates.
Mr. Gupta, just to say, your last question was whether 1 million square feet which you mentioned is the Delhi one a part of that. This 1 million square feet
addition to that.
Yes.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, thank you so much, and all the good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jigar Shroff from Financial Research. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question. And just one question, I missed a bit, didn't quite understand the collaboration that Max Estates is going to have in India related to the Antara projects. If you could please clarify again. Thank you.
I can answer that. This is Sahil. The opportunity for us, as you know, Antara is a senior living business. The opportunity for us is to do developments where we have some elements of commercial, some elements of residential, both of those being developed by Max Estates and operated by Max Estates. But in addition to that, in the same ecosystem, there's an opportunity to have a development for senior living as well. And thus, in one ecosystem, you can have senior living, residential, commercial, F&B, retail. And this is a concept which in some parts of the world has now become very popular, known as intergenerational living. And this can be a huge, huge opportunity in India, and we would be one of the first few people not only to be able to develop it, but to be able to have a capability within the group at a larger level, to have the capability within each segment to be able to operate each of these verticals. And thus there's a lot of synergy in being able to have an ecosystem where there is a senior living, few towers of senior living, few towers of residential, commercial, retail, F&B, all of that ecosystem. And we believe that can really be a differentiator from a customer offering perspective and can help us on another alpha as well.
Okay. So my question was, would Antara remain a part of Max India, or it would be hived off and merged into Max Estates?
It would be a part of Max India because that is a separate business. They are in that business is a completely different business. It's a senior care business, whereas we are in the real estate development business. So they are going to pivot more and more towards the care model, an operator and care model, and we are going to be purely focused on real estate. So it's going to be separate. There is no plan to amalgamate both these entities.
So your role would only be restricted to the construction of the Antara senior living homes, right?
Construction and selling and development, and they can be the managing partner. They can be an operator for it. So, for example, this is a very popular concept in the hotel business. For example, I can give you an illustration. There are some there are owners of property. There are people who own it and develop it and sell it, and then there are just some people who manage the property. So only for the senior living portion, Antara can be a managing partner for us for the senior living development, and we will do obviously the residential, commercial as well. But we can have their expertise from the senior care perspective and to bring that in as a capability to be able to offer to our clients and to offer to a larger set of audience the whole ecosystem.
Understood. Thank you and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of VP Rajesh from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks again. Just a question on Delhi One. So as you were earlier saying, it's a mixed-use project, and to get it out of the NCLT, can you share like how much cost will be involved, and then further developing it, what would be the cost?
Rajesh, this is Nitin Kanchal. So this matter is sub judice under NCLT. For us to give the contours of the plan would be difficult at this point of time.
Okay, fair enough. But do you foresee that this matter concluding in the current financial year? I know you said December is the period is the month when you will have the hearings. But what is the likely timeline of the conclusion here?
So this matter is under judiciary. Although what is happening with this physical hearing starting from December, we have become optimistic on the timelines, but to have a commitment or have confidence it will happen in the current financial year is slightly difficult. But we are really hopeful that the matter will get expedited.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sahil Vachani for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. This has been a momentous for us, and we really appreciate and value your support and look forward to your continued support as we look to build this out into what can be NCR's best real estate and most preferred real estate brand. Thank you again.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Max Ventures and Industries, that concludes this conference. We thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.